I'm Nate Bargatze, and this is my last meal.
Every person has exactly two things in common. We all gotta eat and we're all gonna die. Today's guest is a stand-up comedian, a podcast host, a New York Times best-selling author, and star of the new movie The Breadwinner. But most impressively, he won the DuPont Hadley 7th grade middle school science fair. Nate Bargatze, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That is my proudest moment. Thank you.
As it should be. Like, listen, you've made millions of people laugh, and that's great. But you also made several DuPont executives believe that you can move a chicken bone with a magnet.
Yeah. They had different plans for my career. They still come after me. They're headhunting. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they're headhunting if I'm available. I delivered packages for FedEx in New York when I first moved to New York to starting comedy. And I was very, very good at delivering because I did delivery jobs before that in Nashville. And they would call me like a lot.
Yeah.
Like to be like, will you come back? And I'm like, nah, I got another like dumb day job, and then I'm doing stand-up now. But I was a good delivery guy in New York.
Have other jobs ever come back to you? Has Applebee's ever come back and been like, hey man, I know you never quite made it to server, but as
we
far
would
as
like
a host,
you to be a server. Now, I bet I could go back to Applebee's. I would want to be, if I went back to Applebee's, I would put me in the management.
Yeah, like an assistant manager track at least.
At least
you know you have growth.
At least I would do some serving just to, like get reused to the menu a little bit and interact with the people. But I should be coming up to the tables asking how's everything going.
Yeah.
And I don't need to really be in the weeds with every table. That's how I look at it.
I agree with that. I'm not an expert in either comedy or the restaurant business, but I believe in 2025, you sold more tickets to see you perform comedy than any comedian on earth. Do you think that qualifies you to be an assistant manager at Applebee's? Because I don't know if I'm sure.
I think it's straight track, too.
Straight track, yeah.
Yeah, I think I should. It qualifies me, and I think I should skip the bottom couple salaries. So I should be one of the, like, at least moves out. I'm not saying I'm gonna be the top salary.
Sure.
I would like to earn something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the levels of the salaries are, but I should at least start with like the third, where you're like, the next one's the one.
Yeah, and then that's when you buy the Buick.
That's when you buy the
That's when you buy the Buick.
That's when you buy the Buick.
Man, you got your life figured out.
Yeah, I got options. I mean, this could all fall apart, and I will be fine.
All right, great. There's always gonna be Applebee's. Thanks so much for joining me today, man.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have you thought about your last meal before?
I think so, like sometimes, I don't know if not as much to start a podcast about it, but I've thought about I think it's a great idea.
Sure.
But I've thought, what you would order and what you would do. And I mean, I think you would go, mine would be, I think I don't know. It's like, I don't think I would go too far off I wouldn't try anything.
Do you generally not like to try new foods?
No, I'm actually pretty good about it.
Yeah.
I will try new foods. I like to try stuff. I've eaten some weird, where you've had alligator, I had caviar recently for the first time. I did not mind that, but I think I liked it because it came with a big piece of bread. And so I think that's what helped. It was
That makes
toasted
sense.
bread, and that made...
The caviar was a tax you had to pay to get to the bread.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like if it was like just a bowl of caviar, you're like, well, I'm not gonna. That seems crazy. But when you have it on the bread, it was pretty good.
How often do you think about death?
I don't think I think about it that much. When you have a kid, that's the one that's like, you're so scared, like anything. When you're a baby, I remember my daughter, you just like multiple nights, like you just put my ear on her chest and make sure she's breathing. Like you're just so like, this life's so precious and all this. And now it will be like family.
Sure.
If you do.
You seem like you have a habit of taking yourself out of a lot of things, like the way that you speak. It's always more framed around other people. Like,
Yeah.
Is it your own life that you're not really?
Sorry, I just gave my voice right.
Is it your own life that you're not really that concerned with?
I mean, I do think about myself, and I do. If I talk about myself, I think I do it to closer people and friends. Like, you're gonna want to vent, you're gonna want to get out. You do have an ego, you do have all this stuff. So it's like, you just pound that on your close ones.
Yeah.
And then
really be a burden to the people you love the most.
You want to be the ones that you love the most. You want to be the most burden. You want to, when you walk in the room, they're like, oh my gosh. But then when it's other people, they're like, hey. So I need to work on that. But yes, I think in general, you should be a service to whatever you're trying to do. You're just trying to be the best thing for the thing that whatever someone's watching this or whatever someone's doing, and try not to think too much about yourself. Try not to make, too big of a scene or whatever, or, you know. Yeah.
I think Super Bowl champion Jalen Hurts said it best when he said, keep the main thing the main thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always liked that a lot.
I like that.
I don't really know what it means, but I liked it.
I don't even know what it means, but it does work.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, because maybe you're not the main thing.
Yeah.
So then keep the main thing the main thing.
The main
But I
thing.
guess it means the Super Bowl's the main thing, so that's the main thing.
I think so, yeah.
But as a stand-up comic, I'm by myself, so if I'm the main thing.
Yeah, you
keep
are
the main thing, the main thing.
You, as a stand-up comic,
If I
you
said
throw
it.
the ball.
Yeah.
So no one...
Well, if I said it'd be the opposite.
Sure, yeah.
It would sound bad. I keep the main thing the main thing, man.
Yeah.
And then it's just me rolling, and everyone's like, golly.
All right, Nate, for the first course of your final meal on Earth, we have the McDonald's Big Mac, #1, no onions, and the Dairy Queen Blizzards delivered at the exact same time. We double dashed it together.
Double dash.
We double dashed it.
Same driver?
There was this, no, different drivers.
They do that.
They do that.
They do that.
Why do they want, it's like they want to meet to shake it.
I mean, you don't necessarily want more people knowing about this.
No, not at all.
No,
But now we have, frankly, millions of people, Nate, knowing that you...
Well, now they know. I've told a story about it, but this is what I do. And the truthfully, just so I don't look like a maniac, the Oreo will be small. I won't get 2 mediums.
It's your last meal you're splurging. Yeah.
It's the last meal, exactly. So I'm not insane. This one's a small one.
Please, man, dig into the Big Mac. Don't let me stop you. We got the Big Mac with no onions. I know you've had the restaurant idea for a spot simply called No Onions, where the whole thing you would serve would be
no onions.
no tomatoes, no onions.
But I like ketchup.
Yeah, this is so divorced from tomato at some point.
That's the type of tomato I like.
Yeah.
I like that where you can't even tell that there was a tomato. Most of the tomatoes I eat are the tomato relative stuff that would be in it. A tomato has never met it.
No.
It's never, like this ketchup's never met a tomato.
The tomatoes that eventually went into this ketchup,
Yeah.
probably 6 generations of tomato ago. You know what I mean? Those tomatoes were grown in 1998, and now they ended up in here.
It's like their great-great-great-great-grandparents like speak a different language from the old country.
Yeah,
But then these kids are like, I don't know that language. Mine's already got a bite out of it.
So Nate, I would like you to demonstrate how one should respond in the situation where they're sitting next to somebody and there's a bite taken out of their Big Mac.
How you should respond is, did you do this?
I did.
You did.
I did. It was
That's
a prank.
how you
It was a
should.
funny prank.
My buddy Lewis, who's the most loyal friend in the world, immediately blamed the entire restaurant. And I don't know if there's more love than that could ever be shown.
Yeah.
Because he just thought that you would never do that. You're my best friend. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine it's the entire restaurant, and I should fight all of them.
I can introduce you to all of the culinary producers that have put this meal together, and you can fight each one of them one by one, Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great,
We'll do that in the
great.
parking lot
Yeah.
after the show.
All right, perfect.
I'll switch you Big Macs. This one has
All right.
no bite taken out of it.
I loved it.
I walked in
good.
the kitchen to Lily taking a giant bite out of this Big
Yeah.
Mac, by the way. I want you to know this is not a fake bite. This
It's
is
a real bite.
Yeah.
I love a Big Mac, man.
I love a Big Mac.
Yeah.
You said in your book, Big Dumb Eyes, I do not know what is in this special sauce, but I know that eating it makes me a man. Can you tell me
Yeah.
about the unique coming of age ritual that young American men have that is sharing a Big Mac?
Well,
with
it's
their
the
father?
McDonald's sauce is like everybody kind of does it. Everybody goes like, oh, we got our special sauce. And you're like, you all just copying this.
They are.
You got a Big Mac too. Big Mac, this is a good time to get a Big Mac during the day. McDonald's is always, I'll do it anytime, but day McDonald's is like, it's different. It's just different.
It's the turnover.
About till 7, 8 p.m. you can, it's nice. And then you get past that, we're getting a little, you don't know. I mean, sometimes you go and they surprise you. There's a few you can go to, but some you can go to And their ice cream machine's always broken late at night.
That's a fair point. So you have to get the Blizzard delivered.
Blizzard, baby. Where they go. This is our business.
This is a very small hamburger, but why, when we were kids, did we build this up to be like an unconquerable mountain? Because I remember my first Big Mac with my dad.
Wow.
And it was special for a couple reasons. One, I felt like I was finally a grown adult at like 10 years old. But two, he had just gotten his first job where he didn't have to like go to a check cashing place to cash the check.
Wow.
And so I was raised on dollar menu only, no drinks, no sides.
Yeah.
It was McChickens, McDoubles when they were $1. So the Big Mac was like actually a big moment for us.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you thought like, man, I made it because I can finally afford the fast food meal of my dreams?
I think when I moved out, like it was like, yeah, just the idea that I can go get it at any time. I mean, I'll check the dollar menu out because that's where they're hiding the McChicken.
Sure.
The McChicken was its own powerful thing, and it was a meal.
Yeah.
Now they hide it over in the dollar thing, so you got to go over there and get it if you want it. Because I will get a side fish a side sandwich sometimes. A lot of times, fillet of fish. Fillet of fish it'd be a little more expensive, but that's obviously. But obviously, it's a fillet of fish.
But if it was Fridays, the filet of fish would be half price generally, or $2 for $3.
Like Kath.
Exactly, because the Catholics, the filet of fish only exists because Ray Kroc wanted to have an option for Catholics on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
And Ray Kroc, founder of the McDonald's system, his initial idea was called the Hula Burger. That was just a canned pineapple ring on a bun with cheese.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I don't mind. That's why it's all this.
So much of your humor is very self-deprecating about you being dumb. Hence the name of the book, Big Dumb Eyes.
Boo saw that.
But that's really smart.
You go, this guy.
No, but I'm like...
It's on another level, dude.
Like a little bit, but no. I'm like genuinely curious how you see the idea of intelligence, because like, obviously I know you got 0 credits from community college, but you obviously have a level of genius to you in the way that you are able to communicate ideas with other people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even earlier in the intro where I very casually asked if you thought about your last meal, I've never had anyone say anything remotely as funny as that question. That's not enough to start a podcast about it.
Yeah.
And it took, like, I'm dead serious. Like, to me, that's a level of communicative genius. Do you feel that about yourself? And is this all just self-deprecation, or you're actually just like, whatever I have inside me, that's a gift that I got. And
main thing's the main thing, brother. You go, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Go Birds, baby. Go Birds.
No, yeah, I'm book smart is what I am not. But I guess the communication, observation, like I'm very aware. I'm very, very good in reading a room and like kind of seeing what needs to happen. Or if you're in a situation, business situations or any kind of, like, you kind of got to read people and like be like, all right, I need to know what's going on. I'm not gonna, it'd be like I wouldn't know how to run the cameras, but you could be like, all right, we're here. We need 3. So you might have like an observant, like that kind of thing or whatever. I don't know.
I remember when Travis.
Smarts only works for so long. I used a lot of it on that, pouring the French fry in the thing, so we could be out. No.
There's something though about when you constantly turn the butt of the joke on yourself, it's like the safest person to make the joke about, right? Mm-hmm. Was that a conscious decision by you, or that's just a style of comedy you've always gravitated to?
I just I didn't ever want to make anybody feel bad. I just never wanted to make someone uncomfortable, feel bad. Like it would just break my heart. I mean, when we're comics like make fun of each other all the time, but there is a lot of love shown in that.
Yeah.
So when you're able to really show love and have a rapport with someone, it's like, then that's the best part. You make fun of your friends and all that. But as far as in stand-up, with someone coming to a show, I've never wanted to, I don't know, they're just watching a show. I didn't feel comfortable, like, being like, what's up with you, man? Not that I've not ever done it, but it's initially like you're just, I don't know, you're kind of being mean to this person, and then everybody's laughing at that person. Yeah. Now, saying that, there's some people that want to be that person, and they want everybody to.
So especially in the last 5 years, like it seems like that idea of crowd work has really blown up, especially across social media. But now it seems like you're getting people showing up to comedy shows wanting to be the person that goes viral on a crowd work clip, which would freak me out if I was doing something.
I had a friend, my buddy Aaron, and he was saying like, there was some comedy club and they had, no one wanted to sit up front because they were like, we're gonna get made fun of. So every show, like there was a section of these seats that no one would sit in because they wanted to be farther back from the stage so they don't get made fun of. And then he could not get people to move up there. And then weirdly enough, he started charging, he just said, he had a great idea, and he goes, he charged more money for those tickets and called it the Splash Zone. So then it's like, that's where you're gonna get made fun of. And it flipped, and then those tickets would sell out immediately. Man. And it's weird just to like, I don't know, it's crazy just to think that you're like, you don't want there, then you're like, hey, it costs more money, you're like, and he's gonna make fun of me? You're like, all right, I can't wait. Like it's bizarre. Man. I like doing my act. It's like a performance. I really look at it as it's like a play. You know, I'm me, I'm Eden McDonald. I mean, this is what I am, but then you're an elevated version of that, and then you're just doing your show. Yeah.
It's also an act that you've roughly worked on for 20 years, you know, tirelessly. Now that you have, you know, a blockbuster movie coming out and you haven't done all that much acting, does it feel like this is the culmination of 20 years and there was a consistent ramp up, or you're like, holy crap, all of this is suddenly just happening at once?
It's all happening very fast at once, but it does, like, I'm grateful that it took this long. Yeah. Because when people get stuff too quick, I was trying to get stuff too quick. They just weren't giving it. So I had to go through the whole system. Yeah. But that set me up so much better for where I'm at right now. Like the first time I did SNL, I was doing an arena the night before. So I was able to go to do SNL for the first time with 20 years of experience. Yeah. And like, I know I have material. I know I have, I've been through so many situations. So you're able to, even though you're nervous, but you're able to hide your nerves because I just know how to do that. Yeah. Or turn your nerves into excitement. So yeah, going the long route has made it where, you know, yeah, when you do a movie now, you're just like, yeah, this is my first movie. I haven't acted, but it's like this first one, I'm not veering too much far off. It's a lot of, my stand-up is a little bits in it. Yeah. I'm not like in space. I'm not told them.
That's the Breadwinner 3.
The Breadwinner 3 will go to space.
Go to space for sure. Ludacris is in it.
You know, by the way, Jason, you ever watch Jason when he goes to space?
Yes.
Out of all those, Jason X.
That's what it's called, huh?
That's one of the only ones that actually makes the most sense. I've watched all of them. And that one's actually like, okay. Yeah. Like when he goes to New York. Sure. He's being drugged by a boat in the river for hours. And then he's just standing in New York City and like no one's like, yo, what's up? Or anything. A lot of it doesn't make sense, obviously. When he goes to space, you're like, yeah, I don't know why they would have taken him to space. Mm-hmm. Like I would think if you would leave your serial killers, you wouldn't be like, hey, we gotta go to space. Sure. I remember watching it, being like, how are they gonna get him to space? And then the second they get him there, I go, you know, that's not that bad. I go, yeah. I think I'm on board. Yeah. Their problem with the movie is they made it 30-25, which is way too far in the future. Like, I don't remember when it came out, 2001 or 19, or whatever. No one can imagine what 3025 is going to be. You know, like Terminator was smart enough to go 2000, like, I forget. Like 25, right?
It's like around now. Yeah. Now is when it's happening.
Don't go, and that was crazy, but you're going 30, 20. You're like, how could you even, we don't even have the stuff to even make it look like it's 30, 25. Yeah. It's an absurd year. That's the only.
Make it. They're digging to your Blizzard.
That was my only critique. Mm-hmm. Blizzard is unbelievable, dude. I just found out in St. Louis, there's a restaurant. I want to say it's Trudy's or Trude's or something. Could be wrong. Could start with a different letter.
Do you think it'd end with different letters too?
Oh, it could be all.
Yeah. Whole different combination.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it could be like
Brent's.
Yeah, Brent's ice cream. Yeah. And I'd be like, I don't know what I was thinking of. But he was supposedly, that's where the Blizzard.
Oh, interesting.
It was like that guy did it first where you would show it upside down. Mm-hmm. And then Dairy Queen, they're doing pretty good now.
Nate, for the second course of your final meal, this is Mom's cheesy chicken.
Yes.
Now, we got the recipe directly from your mother, but then your wife Laura did chime in and say that she's not making it right and that you got to use less cheese than your mom said and that you should use fresh chicken breast. So before I had ever met your mother and your wife, I already sort of had to choose between them. Is that something you have to do often?
Yeah, I bet I would rather the not real chicken.
So you're saying that your mom was right in this?
Yeah, I like, again, I don't want my chicken that I eat. I always think I might be borderline vegan because the meat I'm eating is not even remotely near some cow. Like it's like everything I eat, it's like no cow's been harmed in this process and I'm eating a Big Mac or whatever, and you're like, no cow.
Yeah.
No one.
So we have taken cheese and fresh cooked chicken breast, half the cheese because your wife said, and then we rolled that up into crescent rolls, and then we poured a creamy cheese sauce with Campbell's cream of chicken soup on there over the rolls and baked it into a casserole.
This was our fancy meal. And my family, like, we're not big, we don't come from like a foodie family. And there was no one really in our family like that's this big cook or big food is like celebrated in a way. So it was like, this was our fancy stuff right here.
But like the feeling of eating this back then was probably very, very special. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. I ate it not too long ago. My daughter loves it. And so my wife makes it for her now. It tastes just like, it's unbelievable.
That's so good. It's like a savory bread pudding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If anything reminded me of home, it would be the taste of this.
I want to go back to your childhood because you've talked about your upbringing as quote unquote normal, which is in opposition to a lot of comics who talk a lot about, childhood drama and stuff like that. But if you look at your dad, your dad is somebody who was a performing comic and magician out there, and he had that very stereotypical traumatic upbringing where he's using the humor to cope with that darkness. Do you think that he kind of tried to shield you from that trauma but still gave you that level of creativity?
Yeah. I mean, it's it's like when I talk about it, it's like, because it's like when you talk about the childhood trauma, I always have just a hard time with it. Again, and maybe it's to blame it. Like, it's like, you never want to blame someone else. Like, it's like, my dad was raised in a pretty rough upbringing, and then he did the best he could do out of what he did, which is night and day different. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be the best that 5 dads away are going to do or whatever, but it's like the best. So you're just always at least moving forward is the goal, and you don't just get stuck and it's the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But weirdly enough, my dad's a magician, so everywhere we walk, not that we're better than him, but like, it's like you're very noticeable.
You can brag that your dad was a magician, all right?
Yeah, but then you want things normal, where you go, like, I had a joke about my dad got a screen door, and when he put it up, and the handle was on the wrong side of the regular door. So to go in our house, you would have to open the screen door, then go this way to the regular door, right? And that just the reason my mom wanted a screen door is because normal houses had screen doors. So can we just be normal and have a screen door like everybody else? And then our family is just that, where we go try to do something and then it ends up being just not the right way.
Did your dad intentionally do that as a joke, or just got
it just happened. But it's a mix of both, where it's like funny, where my dad might not think about that, so I got pieces of that. I got my dad's timing. I got my mom is very funny, but I mean that also aspect. I'm a lot like this now, where it's like I just want normal. Like, I want the normal thing. If we buy something, I'm like, I want whatever the main thing is. I don't want it to be off a little bit. I don't want it to be a different, if I'm buying a Samsonite suitcase, I want it to be that. I don't want it to be like, well, this brand is this other little, and you're like, no. I want the main one that everybody gets.
Sure.
Like, so there's a lot of that. Because you would, growing up, you'd always I had the Jordans that were from the Dollar General store. Or you had this, nothing was just normal. Like, nothing was just felt regular. And there's super positives to that, but then there's times where you're like, you feel very outcast, like everybody else has, like the regular, normal pair of,
I mean, the fact that your dad he was somebody that toured, I think he went across the globe, right? Especially doing his Straight Jacket from Death Act.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, very Andy Kaufman-esque. He obviously had a very different view of normal and what he wanted his life to look like. And then it sounds like you did, despite the fact that you're both in the same profession, roughly, and that you've actually had him open for you in the past.
Yeah. Well, him being around that played a lot into it because I can see that now, how much it played into it.
Sure.
But my dad, we could have went to Vegas. My dad could have moved to Vegas and done stuff there, and he chose to raise us in Nashville.
You roughly made that same decision, right? You could have lived in any city in America or the world, and maybe would have been more advantageous to your, career, depending on how you view the word advantageous. But you made the decision to keep your family, in Nashville. It's where you still live, right?
Yeah, but I moved. I moved to Chicago, New York, and then LA. So I was gone for about 13 years. Our daughter was born we were living in New York when she was born.
Yeah.
But we had her in Tennessee. I didn't want her to have a New York birth certificate. So
I think that's literally a King of the Hill plot line.
Oh yeah.
Where they didn't want Hank to have a New York birth certificate. It's the best show, and they
it was So we flew. We had this doctor up until the doctor wasn't thrilled, because he had to do all the non-fun stuff, and I think where they make the big bucks is the delivery, and then we were like, well, I just don't want her to have my joke. I had a joke about it, and I was like, well, I didn't want her growing up thinking she was better than me. So I was like, you start where we start. No one gets a leg up in this family. But yeah, so she was born in Tennessee, and it really did matter. I mean, I did want her to have a Tennessee birth certificate. I wanted her to be born in Tennessee. And so from after that, we went to LA for a couple years. And then I was really starting to kind of tour a little bit more, and I was just leaving them kind of out there. And I could tell doing auditioning and all this kind of stuff that if the path that I was going was I'm going to have to create my path. I wasn't, the stuff they wanted me to audition for, I technically, not all of it I was ever really comfortable to do, where there was a lot of it was dirty or all this kind of stuff. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to create my own little world. And so then I just was like, well, let me go on the road and just work on my stand-up, and and I kind of always thought, if I can make one thing great, then I think it's easier to make other things great, because the process that it takes. And so then you can, when you go into other stuff, I know how much work needs to go into it, because I know how much work went into this one thing.
Nate, for course number 3 of your final meal, we got the Italian sub and the Uncle sub from Uncle Paulie's, and then we have a large pepperoni and olive pizza.
Love it.
Who's this delivered to?
Michael Loafman.
Michael Loafman.
Look at that.
Nate, who's Michael Loafman?
Oh, Michael Loafman. So I had a semester in Western Kentucky.
Go Hilltoppers.
Go Hilltoppers, no credits. The filled bowling, just tough. But they make you, and I was actually, I was a very good bowler for a while, but still failed it because you had to keep score. The point was you had to learn how to keep score.
Well, that's a math class, not a bowling class.
Yeah, and then you're I don't know where that's ever going to happen. I mean, every bowling alley in the world does it on its own. And, but Michael Loafman was just there's a Goodwill store there, and he was Employee of the Month every single month. And so we just had this, me and my buddy Jeremy, PP is his nickname, me and P just were Loafman was just killing, we just would it was this guy, dude, it's he's Employee of the Month every month.
That's an incredible track record.
Incredible track record.
He must be a very impressive man.
Very impressive. And then we go bowling one time, and we're just bowling, and we're not even expecting it. I look up, and it's Loafman 300. He bowled a 300 game. You're like this dude's out of his. This guy's unbelievable. So it was just fun for us to talk about how great we thought Michael Loafman was. Never met him, and my emails were all Loafman. Everything was Loafman. And then I've changed it because I put it in the book. But when I had to stay at hotels in another name, I was Michael Loafman. I never got to meet him. I don't know. I assume it's a hardworking family and wonderful family, and we were big fans from afar.
Michael Loafman, this one's for you.
Yeah, buddy.
Dig in, man. So this is, we actually made this ourselves. We tried to do it in the style of New York. Very thin crust, nice and charred on the bottom, a little bit greasy, black olives, pepperoni.
And that's how you eat in New York. You eat it, you got to curl it up. And
Oh, so good.
Pizza. The pizza that reminded me of is it's this place, West Third. I think it's West Third Pizza, but it's kind of next to the Comedy Cellar in New York. You would run around and do a lot of shows in New York, and so, you could do, the most shows I did in one night was like 7. And you do spots at clubs. So they have all these comedy clubs, and you're doing like 15 minutes. So that night, you're just like, right when you get off stage, you're running to another comedy club. And then you go do a show there, and you go do a show there, and you bounce around. So you would have to eat. And then, so like pizza was just in New York, the easiest they have it out. You just say, I'll take one slice of that. You can grab it, eat it on the way. So it reminds me very much of New York and us running around, doing a bunch of shows and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. When you look back at those days, so many people, once they reach success, they realize that now they have a lot of people they're responsible for. The projects that they're doing are now, tens of millions of dollars deep. Whereas when you were just running around New York doing your craft, that was actually the most fun that you had. Do you have that rose-colored view of the past, or you're very happy where you're at now?
I'm very happy where I'm at, but I'm very happy. I wouldn't change it, but I wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
It's like, I loved it. I still talk to most everybody that I started with. Now that we're doing shows, I get to bring a lot of them on the road with me. So it's like we've been together for, 23 years, some. When you're in New York and you're running around doing shows, you become friends with these people because you're around them every day, like all night. And because you're doing shows every night. So the guys that are really going out there and doing it, it's not till later when you start getting on the road where you kind of go from where you're not really around a lot of them. And so you're kind of by yourself. And which can be bad because, it's like, I think what makes everything so funny at the beginning is like you're all together, so you're all comics. So everybody's trying to be funnier than any comment you say. I want to be better than that comment. Like, and it's very competitive and very making fun of each other and all this. And so that's why now on the road, I bring my buddy Julian McCullough, who I started with. He hosts the shows. The arena shows are so big, and he's so great. I mean, he's got his own special. Everybody's a headliner on their own rights. And then I bring three other comics on the road. Yeah. And the idea of it is to recreate that Hank that we kind of had, just so we can stay funny. So there's always jokes. It's a lot of jokes. You need to do that. I mean, if you just go sit in a hotel room alone by yourself a lot on the road, it's like, it gets old. You're not going to be, I don't know, you're kind of like down, like you're not.
Yeah.
What you talk about
too. It's nice when fans, when you're making all these people laugh, but you're sort of left alone in a vacuum. I haven't done a ton of stuff on stage, but when we did this little tour that was like selling out, 2,500, 3,000 person theaters, and I'd never experienced that amount of laughter or connecting to you, whatever, but I have never experienced a more lonely feeling than leaving a stage and going back to a bus with nobody else on it. It felt like a vacuum, like everything was like I was Jason in space in a vacuum getting the air sucked out. It really scared the hell out of me. But it sounds like you've tried to just recreate these like good old days by stacking people.
Basically, exactly that. So you can have, because you have so much stuff crazy happening that you just want to go back to your buddies and be like, dude, did you? That was crazy. Like that was this, that, whatever. And you go do more stuff because when you're alone in a city, it's like, I don't know. I've been to every city. I performed in every state. I've done like, you go back to these cities that you just been to them, and it's like so much that you can go like, all right, well, this food is good, or go see this, or go see that. And then you might be alone or whatever, and you're just not gonna interact with people. You're not gonna be making jokes to yourself about stuff. But when you go walk around a zoo with like 4 comics, I mean, you might come up with something. You might like say something that's funny, and it's like, yo, you should say that on stage. And you're like, all right, I'm gonna try that. And it's like your brain is just thinking.
That's how you got your famous orangutan bit.
Exactly.
You guys haven't seen it yet, but I heard it in the green room.
Yeah.
So funny, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we got two different sandwiches from Uncle Paulie's. We got the uncle and the Italian.
Yeah.
I would argue that the uncle is also an Italian uncle in question, because it is mostly soppressata and prosciutto.
Yeah.
A lot of cured meats in here. What's the deal with Uncle Paulie's sandwiches?
So I know Paulie.
You know Paulie?
I know Paulie. Paulie was in New York City, and he worked at the Broadway Comedy Club in New York City.
No way.
Yeah. And his mom booked comics, booked a lot of us on like whatever gigs around New York and Connecticut about this random stuff. And then so I left, went to LA, and then way later on, I found out like he went and opened a deli out here in LA. And I was like, I couldn't believe, like I was like, that's crazy, dude. And it's become a very popular place. It wasn't like he didn't make us sandwiches coming up. There was none of that.
Because obviously he learned how to make a pretty damn good sandwich.
Yeah.
Like, this is genuinely like one of the best sandwiches in LA. Is a reason it's so popular. We've just used this bread looks familiar. You've seen us just use this bread for other sandwiches that we make on this cooking show. Mm-hmm. That's how good the bread is. But you had no idea that he was like gonna open a sandwich empire.
No idea. And so why I wanted to even pick with the show is just like, I just love that. I do remember being, even when I was young, being kind of in comedy, being sentimental about, like I always like thought, I can't wait to see where everybody's going to be at in 10 years and 20 years. And it was always comics and stuff like that. And so to see Paulie have done this, and then you're just known him for forever, and you're like, dude, that's so awesome. Like, that's crazy. He was very fun to get laughing. He was very funny. He just fit in with comics, even though he wasn't a comedian. Obviously, he was around a bunch of comedians. So he just fit in with us all very well. So it reminds me of that time, and I root for him as a person. I've always just really liked him, and so to see someone come and actually have success is awesome.
It's interesting thinking about what people you were rooting for like 10 years ago, because I remember listening to you on Mark Maron's podcast probably closer to 15 years ago, like real early days. And Mark Maron, despite seeming like almost the complete opposite type of comic to you, right? Mark Maron works super blue and he's super political, and he is very, very riled up and fast paced. But he seemed to take like such an affinity for you, because he was like, I don't know a lot of people that are doing what you are doing. The fact that you are clean, the fact that frankly you're really, really well paced, you use a lot of silence in your act, in a world where some of the comics that I grew up listening to, right, I would have called them edgy when I was younger. But then when everyone's edgy and everyone's talking about sex and everyone's talking about politics and everyone's working the same level of blueness that's been distributed everywhere, is there something to just like staying the course of what you know to be true and funny and not trying to follow everybody else?
Absolutely. You gotta just, that's the only message I would give to anybody. It's just, there was times you're very tempted to go edgy or when political, like, because I watched a lot of comics that were younger than me that would just fly by me and like be, you're like, that guy, you're like, I've been doing comedy 10 years longer than that guy, then you're like, that guy's famous now, and you're like, all right, maybe I should do this, because if I did this, like, you would draw attention, whatever. And but fortunately, I was able to stay the course, kind of stay to what I did. Someone asked me recently, how could you keep your, it always feels weird saying the word brand, but it's the simplest way to put it. But it's like your brand or whatever. Like, how could you keep it together now?
Yeah.
Like, and I told him, I said, well, I think I've already done the hard part, because I did it when it was the easiest to veer off of it.
Yeah.
Now it would be insane to veer off of it. But if I went through all the years where no one knew me and I didn't veer off of it, then I feel stronger now and that I'll stay in it more than ever.
Nate, for the final course of your final meal on this earth, we have a PB Swizzle acai bowl from Smoothie King. Now, this is a regional chain that we were not able to get, so we tried to recreate it faithfully, including manufacturing the sticker that goes on it. And then we have, I would kind of think this is maybe an evolution of Nate Bargatze, that this is the old acai bowl.
Yes.
Chocolate ice cream with milk poured on top.
Yeah, so this would be from my buddy Ryan, my oldest friend since we were 8. But we would eat this. He would eat it, and then I started doing it. I seen him do it, and he would just put chocolate milk in there, and chocolate ice cream, and just put milk. It's like the cheesy chicken. Out of all the things, it's like these are the two things that really remind me of like home.
If you were to shake this up a bunch, that'd be what we'd call a milkshake.
It's like, but it's kind of better.
It kind of is better.
Like it's like a lazier, it's like you don't have the money for a milkshake machine.
You write really glowingly and very empathetically about your dad in your book, Big Dumb Eyes, about this moment of testimony that he had of, your dad basically being like disfigured at age 3, basically getting chewed up by a bulldog because his mom left him outside of a bowling alley while she was bowling a 299 game, most in the history of the state of Kentucky, don't you know?
Yeah, Bowling Hall of Fame.
Bowling Hall of Fame. Yeah, but like your dad had this crazy rough upbringing. He was basically abandoned by his family, kind of taken in by distant relatives after he was living on the street, aimless. Everyone called him dumb. And then he had this moment of testimony of being cared about for the first time. Have you had any similar moment of testimony like that? Or for you, was it more of like a gradual understanding of that calling?
I think for me, it was a gradual understanding. Yeah, I don't think there was ever this one. Well, I did Bridgestone Arena, and I always like kind of daydreamed about doing that when I first started. And then we did it, sold the most tickets for a single show. Garth Brooks did 12 shows there, but I snuck mine in with the most in one show. But it's so. After I remember that night, I've been thinking about that moment for 20 years, and I didn't really speak about it. I didn't it was just with me, and then after that night, I was like, well, what now? And I remember heavily that being pretty heavy on me of going, what now?
Yeah.
And I haven't done MSG. That was one of the early arenas I did. But I knew I wanted to go do MSG. I wanted to go do Boston Garden, all these big shows. I wanted to be this big tour. I want to be the best stand-up I could be and hopefully try to be one of the best stand-ups and all this kind of stuff. So I knew I wanted all that stuff. But there was something that you could see where you're like, well, that doesn't matter if there's this other hole or something that's not being filled.
Yeah.
And so then, I remember it that vividly that night. And that was like, we had a terrible, they had a school shooting, not too quickly before that. And I remember meeting the police officers that were involved in a lot of that. It was just met people from that school that had come to that show. This was a few weeks after, and just for them to have the relief of, they had the weight of the world on the town, much less this small school. And so getting to meet them and all this, and just, knowingly that they, they're like, it's the first time they've laughed, it's the first time they, it's like, I don't know, it was just heavy moments that you were kind of lightening for a second. And so I think that time is when I thought of Nateland and like the Nateland world that I'm trying to build, where it was like, all right, this has to be, I need to be a relief for people and on all spectrums. Whether I'm from the South, I'm Christian, but like, be whatever you are. I should be for everybody.
Yeah. It
doesn't matter if you believe, don't believe, you're a different religion, you're different, blah, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's why I liked making fun of myself, because I can do that, and you can laugh with me or at me, and it doesn't matter. It counts as a laugh either way, but and so then that's where my drive goes. And I'm not trying to say I'm better, figured anything. I'm just telling you that's where.
This guy almost had a daughter born in New York. He thinks he's better than us. All right.
Yeah. I'm just doing my thing. You go do your thing. I'm not trying to bother anybody. I'm just doing my little thing over here. That involves acai bowls and ice cream.
Take it to the acai bowl, man. Where does this come from? Is this like the new healthy power building, Nate Bargatze?
I'm gonna be honest with you, they've cut me off on these because I love this acai bowl, but the amount of stuff that I'll put in it, it rivals this.
There's definitely more calories in here than there is in here.
Yeah.
You get nutrients and vitamins in this, but like we're talking calories.
Oh, but I didn't even know about them, and my daughter wanted one, and I was like, I'm not getting a smoothie bowl. It seems insane. I never knew about them. I was minding my own business. Wasn't even in the ACIE Achaia world.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. And my daughter, Harper, she made me go get her one, and I still didn't get it. And then we were somewhere, and I was just like, oh, all right, I'll try one. My daughter always gets this. And became a pretty big problem. And I would eat them before every show. And so, until very recently, where we've had to tone it down. I've eaten 2 in a day, and that's a lot, dude.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
We've somehow branded these like health food, but I had a buddy from Brazil who was like, "Oh, we eat that to bulk up. That's like a post-workout meal for us because there's so much sugar." And I was like, "No, this is diet food in America."
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you talking about trying to appeal to as many people as possible, or not shut people out, not to sell more tickets to bigger arenas, because the arenas can just go bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're building bigger ones out there, but like to actually be able to connect more people to each other. Your new movie, The Breadwinner, it seems like a movie that hasn't existed in quite a long time, like a theatrical release, family friendly comedy. Was that something that was very intentional, or that's just the comedy that speaks to you?
An older movie, Mr. Mom, John Hughes, Michael Keaton, it's amazing. When I started writing this with Dan Lagano. When I first was writing, I was kind of based my stand-up. It was just like, what happened if I got stuck with the kids? And I'm like, it's funny because I'm like, I think it's this great idea. And then it's like, yeah, like it's Mr. Mom. I was like, man. I go, it is. Like there. John Hughes was good, and he did Home Alone, he did Planes, Trains, Automobile, and all that. So that kind of era of a movie that people talk about a lot was movies that I still think very business minded, right? So if I'm thinking I want to create this for this movie, but I'm thinking very business minded. If I'm looking on all these streamers and how come Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is in the top 10, like over every movie you make, how are they sustaining that? You can't tell me that no one doesn't want that anymore when I'm looking at it. How do you have teenagers go watching Friends now?
Sure.
And they're going through the whole series. How can you, like, there's all this, I can't wrap my head around it because I'm just like, and this is, I don't even know inside data. I'm just looking at like the rankings.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see this kind of thing where, they're like, well, no one wants to go to the movie theaters. Everything's always like, I feel like everything gets blamed on everybody, the audience.
Yeah.
But no one takes responsibility. So they all go, well, no one wants to come to movie theaters anymore. That's right. It's everybody. It's their fault.
It's the hundreds of millions of people's fault. Surely not what you're doing.
Our bad. You guys, that was your fault. I think everybody thinks everybody changes. And you're like, dude, they don't change, man. They all still want the same thing that you wanted when you were a kid. They want it too. They want to watch those things that are easy. And I think you got a problem where people are addicted to social media. And the people that make the decisions to make television are addicted to social media.
Yes.
And then so they are going like, wow, this is what everybody wants because it's got these views on social media. And while social media matters very, very much, I don't see where it translates into ticket sales. And so like you could look at my Instagram following, right? I think we're almost at 3 million followers, where if you looked at some other comics or some other people, I should not be above them as far as it just shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I always use another one I always use was like YouTube. YouTube has like a Sia video. Is that how you're saying it right?
Yeah. I see ya.
I see it.
I see ya.
I see it. Yeah. I see it. Yeah. She should get into this.
Business minded.
She should get into it. But like you see a video, and I love her, and I've watched the video, but it could have billions of views, right? Well, that means she shouldn't be able to walk outside, because I think every person on earth has watched her video. So she should be the most famous person that's ever existed.
Sure.
And not saying she's not extremely famous, but like something's not at something.
She hide her face?
She hides her face, so now she can walk around.
Yeah.
But some of those, like when those views, they just don't. It doesn't make sense to me. You're like, how does this have billions of views? And now they start showing everything in minutes watched. I don't understand that either. They'd be like 411 million minutes watched. You're like, what are we going off?
I don't have a sundial.
Yeah.
I missed how much that was.
Yeah. How long is? Yeah. How do
You want to sort of
tell?
go back to this sort of golden era? It seems like.
I think the golden era still exists, and they had it when they went. Once TV's, they flipped, and TV kind of came back into the golden era. And then I think TV's now, it's like every actor and everybody's kind of gone that route, and then you got these TV shows and stuff, and it's like let's have a balance. I think people still want a Big Bang Theory on the air that they can just have on and cook dinner, and it's like entertainment doesn't all need to be like where I'm like, you got to listen to every second of everything I do,
Yeah. But as the world sort of changes, you have been for 20 years on the same straight path.
Yeah.
And now it's caught back up.
Of course, I'm eating food I ate before I made it.
Nate, you became a conscious human being around the year 1983. That was when Vanderbilt started a 25-year losing streak where they did not have a single winning season.
Man.
What did that teach you about having low expectations in the world?
I think it humbled you, and I think the best thing that can happen to you as a kid is to root for a team that is not good.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, you meet a lot of kids, especially my age, that were like, I'm a Bulls fan and a Cowboys fan and a Yankees fan. And you're like, well, are you? Well, that was a fun time for you. I don't think it's a bad thing. Detroit, like if you're a Lions fan, you're like a Cleveland fan, like you're like, it's going to be better than talking to like a Patriots guy. Like you just want.
I think that's actually like a really powerful metaphor for life right there.
Mm-hmm.
Of if you don't expect the world and you just get something nice, like a nice 10-3 team to root for with a plucky quarterback, I think there's like, I don't know, a key to happiness in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're the most excited every year. And it's like, I think there's humor. Humor shows up there.
Yeah.
Because you can make fun of yourself, make fun of your team. I mean, I always say at the beginning of the year, like, you gotta talk me how we're not gonna go undefeated. I mean, and I've been doing that for the past 20 years. You go, I don't see where we're gonna lose. And then we would have seasons we lost every game.
Yeah.
But I started
sometimes strung multiple of those in a row.
Oh yeah. But I would start that season going like, I just don't see where the loss would come from. And then it was the opposite. Yeah. But it's like, it does. It makes you, having a car that's not as good, or having like all these little weird things that you got to kind of explain why you're into them are good cool tools to have, because you're like, why are you a Vandy fan? And then you got to make a joke about it, or you got to just dive all into it and be obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I had a highlight reel. I showed. I took speech in community college. So for my speech class, I brought in a highlight reel on VHS of Vanderbilt's. That we went 5-6. It wasn't even a winning season, and I brought in and I just played the highlight reel, and I just like I didn't even prepare. This could have been one of my first stand-up like opportunities. Yeah. Like where if I look back on it, I just played it. I was like, I talked about it. I knew everybody. I talked about just how great it was that season, and then the end of it to be 5. We didn't go to a bowl game. It wasn't a good year. But I was very funny telling it, and I got it. I think I got an A in that speech class because of that. But that was like, you look back, that's a sign of that I see where you're like, all right, I was being. My go-to thing was to like, since I'm not going to prepare for this, I'll just bring this in and be funny. I'll do something so off the wall that no one goes to a different college. We're not even at Vanderbilt. We're at a community college. No one's there going like, I hope we see the 5-6 season of Vanderbilt football in 1997 or whatever.
Go Doors, baby.
98. Go Doors.
We ask every guest, what do you think happens when you die?
Well, as a Christian. It's like not that I know everything about everything. I don't know if I'm not the best Christian. I'm a very do you be everybody, be everything. Like I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm not smart enough to have I don't know what to say and all that, but so I do believe that there is an afterlife, and that's where that's where I would hope to be.
Nate, you ready to get in the lightning round?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Who's the one person, dead or alive, you'd want to share your actual last meal with?
I mean, Jesus. Is that? But that's yeah.
You can pick. Only one other person has picked Jesus before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at the people you having on here. Good night. Yeah.
What song do you want to be played at your funeral?
We were merely freshmen.
You promised 5-star pocket passer Jared Curtis a role in a movie. When are we going to see him?
Stay tuned for that.
Like, actually? I love NIL, baby. All right, who's your dream eulogizer at your funeral?
Eulogizer?
Yeah.
That sounds like like a fitness thing.
It's the person who gives the speech.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know, it's hard to be funny or still be like my daughter, because then I would hope that she outlives me by a lot.
That's a good guarantee.
Yeah.
What's the most underrated menu item at Applebee's?
The Chinese chicken salad.
What's your biggest fear?
I think getting stuck, feeling stuck. Like if I feel like I'm getting behind, it can be career-wise, can be anything. It can be if I feel like I'm I should be moving forward. I think that's or claustrophobia. You can choose you choose claustrophobia. Just go claustrophobia. That's easier than the other.
Who's the best player in the history of the NBA?
Michael Jordan.
Sorry, we're talking about Nashville Baptist Association, not National Basketball Association.
I played with the guy against the guy in the real world that wore the cowboy hat, and he was tall. But he didn't play Nashville. He came in, we scrimmaged him. He was in Kentucky.
Okay.
So that was an out-of-town game.
Just an exhibition.
Yeah,
not real
exhibition.
league play. Yeah. Was it on carpet or hardwood?
That one was on hardwood.
Yeah.
It was like, don't worry, Dick, carpet was there earlier. And he goes, we practiced on carpet. All right, bud, don't.
I didn't mean to offend the National Baptist
yeah.
Association. I'm so sorry. Finally, Nate, are you happy?
I'm extremely happy. I feel very loved. I think I have a lot of stuff to do, but generally I'm very happy.
I'm happy that I got to share this with you, man. Thank you so much. I've been a
you so
massive
much.
fan for years. I'm stoked to check out The Breadwinner.
Man.
This is awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
If you want to deliver your last words to that camera right there.
Last words were before, like I would die.
Yeah.
Before they ate this, it was like, man. Because I'm thinking I'm getting electrocuted.
Oh, yeah. You'd be pretty bummed about your own death, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you'd go like,
You're talking about the situation.
yeah.
If I was on my deathbed, it's like,
Sure.
it would be like, I love you, or like.
Yeah. Well, let's say you're on your deathbed, like
No, well.
you don't like
I
know
still
you're.
do. Oh, man.
I think so.
I think you're just always, you're just, oh, man. Oh, man.
Rats.
You go, it's coming to the end. It's the choice. It's like you go, your last words would be like, oh boy, I hope it's Jesus. Yeah.
Oh boy, I hope it's Jesus. This is Nate Bargatze, everyone. Check him out. Thank you again so much, man. Everyone, make sure you check out The Breadwinner in theaters May 29th. I'll be there, right in the splash zone. We all gotta eat, and we know you're dying to get your hands on a last meal's apron and pin. Get yours now at mythical.com.